is the worst problem on the planet that you can think of? What requires the most savage, brutal, and evil psychopaths to even contemplate doing? What is the most profitable, nefarious, and dastardly vicious criminal enterprise on earth? What one crime can be committed that has, up until now, had a virtual zero chance of being caught, and if peradventure you were arrested, a virtual 100% chance of walking away scot-free, or if convicted, get your own private cell with room service and a Luxana bed, provided, that is, you had the right people in your pocket. What crime, what offense, what infraction of even the most lowest of moral standards, that even the mere accusation of such a thing, even if you're totally innocent, gets you branded for life, never fully trusted again, scrutinized with microscopes up your asshole, and if convicted, beaten, raped, and perhaps even killed in prison? What product can be sold over and over, is never in short supply, requires no complex, expensive, risky, and recurring supply trips, and can be astronomically priced with willing customers seemingly coming out of the fucking woodwork? What product can you sell someone that after he takes temporary possession of it, enables you to control that customer's life, everything he does, and gives you complete control of governments if enough of their politicians partake of your wares? What business has no taxes and relatively no overhead and is completely hidden from the eyes of the mainstream media, and when exposed by some rogue journalists is quickly dismissed as a nutjob conspiracy theory? On what planet or in what iteration of the Matrix does the President of the United States spend $68,000 of the taxpayers' money to have hot dogs flown into D.C. from Chicago for a party at the White House? I'll tell you. The product is small children. The business is selling them. The crime is child trafficking. The psychopaths in the business are politicians, famous actors, news anchors, and others we've come to admire. The global slavery market is bigger than several of the top 10 Fortune 500 companies combined. This is nothing new. It has been going on for years, decades, centuries, millennia. There is nothing new under the sun. Different forms of the same old shit. This is not something us conservatives pulled out of our assholes one day in some plot to defeat the frazzled rat in 2016. This largely came out of the Podesta and Clinton emails published by WikiLeaks and from the insurance policy folder found by New York Police Department on Anthony Weiner's laptop PC. It is now further corroborated by the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein and evidence recovered from his $77 million New York City mansion. What the fuck authorities will find on his Caribbean islands, yes, there are two of them right next to each other, has yet to be disclosed, but you can bet that you'll hear nothing but bullshit from mainstream media. If it wasn't for hundreds of citizen journalists like me, most who have no formal training, sitting in our kitchens or spare rooms, who have spent years researching and compiling and putting all of this out there, or if the oven mitt fashionista had won, all of you out there listening would still be treated like mushrooms if it wasn't for us. The mainstream media would still be throwing shit at you and keeping you in the dark. The revelation of this ubiquitous evil is the Great Awakening. Now we know. Now we told you. Now the tinfoil hats have pulled the wool off the planet's eyes. Don't shoot the messenger. Collectively, the planet's retinas are becoming accustomed to what it's like to be able to see. At first, many will not know what to make of what the fuck they're looking at. Cognitive dissonance is the sharp stick in the eyes many people suffer from. They see, but the mind's reaction to what is seen is disbelief. It is subconscious disbelief in order to protect the worldview of an innocent mindset that, like a dog, will lovingly lick its owner after it has been abused and beaten to within an inch of its life. It's the same trauma-based conditioning that causes an abused spouse to return to her abuser and loves him and forgives him until one day, inevitably, he beats her to death. And don't be fooled. The best position that an enemy soldier can have is to be right there in the same trenches alongside his enemy, like the online trolls pretending to be patriots, like Child Protective Services pretending to act on a child's behalf while secretly selling them to pedophile foster parents or into the child sex market, like some schools that take digital photos of their students for security purposes, and their pictures end up on the dark web in Sears catalog-like listings on Pedobay, sold to the highest bidder and abducted on demand. And the distractions and sleight of hand to distract the public's attention from the real crimes are as evil as the crimes are. Ritalin, Adderall, and others, the brainwashing of children to imagine abuse that never happened, false accusations with no proof, plea bargains as risk management, and several industries are created out of thin air. Big Pharma, prisons, counselors, and Hick Farmer Sigmund Freud wannabes, social workers, all have lucrative jobs, and unfettered, unlimited, and largely unsuspected access to an entire nation's children is gained, an estimated 800,000 of whom disappear in this country every year like a fart in the wind. The biggest human interest, potentially Pulitzer Prize-winning news story imaginable. And what do you hear of this on mainstream media? Fucking crickets. Awareness is our most formidable weapon. The perpetrators of the most disgusting crimes against humanity, child trafficking and abortion body parts market, infanticide on demand, and all of this evil is done with the full complicity or tacit consent of those in government who we elected and appointed to be the guardians of the rule of law. They have betrayed their oaths. They have committed treason, war crimes, and crimes against the whole of humanity. Such people cannot be rehabilitated. They cannot be fixed. They are psychopaths. The only fix is a rope and a strong branch. It will not be a deterrent because psychopaths believe they are smart enough to avoid capture. They employ forensic countermeasures. They rely on their dead man switch of mutually assured destruction. I say fuck the perceived deterrent value of long up-the-ass prison sentences. Let's concentrate on recidivism. Noose plus strong oak equals no more victims for this motherfucker. And as for those politicians who have partaken in the criminal behavior itself, or who have worked to cover it up, or who knew and said or did nothing, for them I say the Eighth Amendment should not apply. What they've done to their victims, or have allowed to be done, out of greed or out of succumbing to blackmail, they are the ones who should be dealt with most harshly. I say turn them over to their victims' families to be done with as they see fit, and perchance he survives, tattoo his forehead with some Pizzagate-style pedo symbols, and airlift him out into the rec yard at Attica. Use your imagination. Think outside the box. We have to get medieval with these monsters. Nothing else will get their attention. It has been said that a society or a person should not stand too long at the precipice of the abyss of the pit of hell, lest he fall in. I believe the greatest danger for most of us is not falling in, but failing to comprehend that what we're looking at is just a portal, just a doorway, the entrance to the abode. Thousands of people who've tried to expose this shit were themselves accused of crimes they did not commit, and paid the price for their efforts. The normies who watch CNN all day simply believe whatever they say and question nothing. They couldn't be any more brain dead if they went to Haiti and some witch doctor blew zombie dust in their face. They all have cell phones and internet access, but somehow avoid being exposed to anything even resembling the truth. They live entirely in their emotions, in that la-la land of the good ship lollipop where everything is free for the asking and the politicians they support are God's gift. Wrong God. The God of this world is Satan, and knowingly or not, that is who they follow. He is who they are enabling. If you're a Democrat after all of this, I must inform you that your cheese has fallen off your cracker. These people have no agenda outside of getting taxpayer-funded salaries to run around all day, conspiring with each other to figure out how to save their own ass without triggering an unknown dead man switch that will bring them all down. If they can't get at you to silence you, they'll arkanside you for revenge or just for shits and giggles. Just because they can, and because they've done it for decades and got away with it, and because if the law convicts them for one murder, it wouldn't matter if they got pinched for all the people they've killed. They've gone full tilt retard since Trump won, and they're done, and they know it. Last-ditch effort, they go completely scorched earth. Expect the foxtrots, folks. This country has been covertly under attack since its inception over 240 years ago. The Fourth Reich Nazi Party, sub-known as the Democrat Party, have infiltrated our culture for decades. They've engineered social and educational programs that have destroyed black and Hispanic families. They've created and promoted debauchery and fake science to undermine and make Judeo-Christian values obsolete and unfashionable. They've taught the state-sponsored religion of evolution to our kids, and we wonder why life is perceived to be so cheap. Our children are taught that they evolved from monkeys, amoebas, and ultimately rocks, and that the entire universe in all of its splendor and in all of its magnificent design just popped out of non-existence once upon a non-time, and voila, here we are, dancing the fucking Macarena. The techno-Nazis and their reverse-engineered alien technology thought they would control all of us with it. Shades of Orwell's 1984. Yes, they were successful in enslaving millions of mind-controlled social media junkies with stupid shit like Candy Crush Saga. However, the tech has backfired on them. They stepped on their own dicks, and they didn't even know it. Not until the Hildebeest lost. Then they scrambled every way they could to shut the lid on Pandora's box. They should have known it wouldn't work. They could have went to psychology classes for a week and figured out that a little Dutch boy's finger in the dike isn't going to stop the deluge once the cracks start spreading. And certainly, you're not going to stop the dam from breaking by whacking the boy with his finger in the hole. All they've done is validate our suspicions, and history will record that a loosely knit band of patriots persisted until the cabal fell. The future will validate everything we have alleged and worked so hard and so relentlessly to uncover, expose, and make right. Certainly, there are more profitable things one can do on social media than political commentary. Filming my dog eating wood at the lake requires no skill, no research, and little editing. The videos would generate income for decades. These videos are lucky if they're even viewed a week from now. But that's okay. A few of you have supported this effort with a book purchase or a gift, and we are grateful. You helped us stay afloat. Instead of doing this, I could sell Jeeps and earn buku dineros. But Tony and I are patriots first. It is important to save the country first, because if it falls completely into the hands of these demon rats, no amount of money would make life worth living. I'd rather sleep in a tent in the woods than live in a $77 million mansion in New York City and be a foul, evil scumbag like Jeffrey Epstein. His grace is sufficient. I'll go where the Lord takes me. If I resist, I know I'll be swallowed up in the belly of the beast. As the Borg would say, resistance is futile. Or perhaps I'll end up in another non-existent abandoned farmhouse. There is one thing in all of this that I would change if I woke up one day with a red cape and a yellow S on my PJs. That is, that for every day that goes by that these criminals are not locked up, over 2,100 kids go missing in this country alone. Nobody says a fucking word. There's a 4,000-pound gorilla sitting on the couch watching Jimmy Fallon and pissing on the carpet. Nobody but us seems to give a shit. The mainstream media could give a shit. The FBI could give a shit. The public can't be bothered. Can't miss the Stupor Bowl. bread and circuses. It brought down the Roman Empire. If we don't take our country back, if we don't defend the innocent with words, if we only speak and never act on that speech, if we knowingly allow this evil shit to continue, if we value this mortal existence more than we value the lives of our own children, if we value life over liberty and a false sense of security over civil liberties, then we are lost. We are lost and we will never find our way out. We might as well just succumb to the elements. I, for one, ain't succumbing to shit. They'll just have to kill me, but not before I see them all hang, like Mussolini, upside down and in disgrace. None of that savior legacy bullshit. Public trials, executions on pay-per-view, Netflix. Fuck 'em. This is Dave from Net4Truth USA Whirlwind Revolt. Thank you very much for listening. Please do what you can to further this cause and help us defeat these demons any way you can. Thank you, and God bless you. Godspeed. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our fourth fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4Truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.